This might be one of the biggest makeup hauls I have done in a long time on my channel. The Sephora sale came at the absolute perfect time for me because there were so many new makeup formulas that I actually had my eyes on. And while I feel like in general new makeup hasn't been as interesting to me, I have to say that this sale proved that statement wrong. This sale got me good. I am testing and trying and so excited about so many new products. Obviously, I went into the Sephora store, picked up everything I wanted. I actually went to 2 different Sephora stores to try to get as many things. The sale really has a chokehold on people, okay? When I went into the store, it was absolutely packed. Things were selling out very quickly. It was a dog-eat-dog world in that store when I went in to shop. So there were a few things on my list that were already sold out in store, so I went ahead and placed an online order as well. We'll talk about that towards the end of the video, but first off, let's jump into all of the fun stuff, all of the new products, new formulas, everything I'm so excited to be testing. And if you guys are interested in shopping the sale is now open for VIB members as well as beauty insiders. You guys can get your 10%, 15%, or 20% off if you are Rouge. I will have the link to all of the products I'm talking about in today's video down below, and those are affiliate links. If you guys shop through those links, it does help to support my channel, so I really do appreciate when you guys use my links. Let's jump into all of the fun stuff. If you guys watched the last video on my channel, which was a Sephora sale kind of recommendations, what I don't recommend, and my personal wish list. In the wish list portion of that video, I did talk about wanting to get my hands on one of the new Natasha Denona Eye Sculpt texture and tone palettes. Natasha released 2 different versions of this texture and tone palette. There is the soft version, which is the lighter version, and then you've got the dramatic version, which is the one I personally purchased. I feel like this is kind of her new and improved Biba palette. This palette has 18 shades in it, which is 3 more shades than the Biba palette. It's a lot more compact. She really just kind of wedged all these pans in here, and the pans are the size of her midi palette, so you're still getting a decent amount of product in here, and I love this range of colors. This is the most perfect gradient for someone with my skin tone. You have everything from, it's still like a medium light matte shade up here, but it goes all the way into a rich black. You're getting plenty of deeper shades, plenty of mid-tone shades, very, very few light shades in here, if any truly light shades, which for me and my skin tone, again, I definitely don't mind. I would much rather most of the palette be mid-tone and deeper than have too many light shades that are all gonna look the same on me. Based on me swatching this palette, I know there are quite a few different formulas in here, even though it looks like you've just got mattes and shimmers. Some of these are more of like her putty texture. It's not a true cream, but it's almost like a creamy powder. These shimmers all have different formulas. Like some of them are more of that matte base with that extra like glimmery sparkle in them, kind of like this one here. And then some of them are more of like a true metallic. None of these shimmers have that like super extra dimensional sparkle. They're not like that really special ethereal sparkle, something like what we're going to talk about next. These are all more of a standard shimmer finish. We probably have a lot of this going on in our collection, but I just know based on how much I reach for her Biba palette, I do love the Natasha Denona formula. I do reach for her palettes, so I thought for my collection this was a good purchase, and I am really excited. Again, in my wish list video, I told you guys I was gonna do this. I picked up the 4 new Patrick Ta Major Dimension Eye Illusion eyeshadow duos. I have the original 5 that he released last holiday season, and I was just waiting for a sale to pick up the other 4. These are absolutely stunning, okay? In my opinion, Patrick Ta did take some of the criticism from his original launch and kind of leveled up these 4. At least that's what I think, because in his original launch of his duos, there was one shade that was more of that extra dimensional, super sparkly, ethereal, almost glittery eyeshadow. And then there was one that was typically a little bit more scaled back, a little bit more of a true metallic with just a little bit of extra dimensional shimmer. But I do think that most people, including myself, really gravitated towards the super sparkly shade. I mean, if you're paying this Patrick Ta price tag, you want the special. You want the formula that is hard to find in other palettes or in other brands in general, because it does tend to be an elevated formula that not every brand even makes. And in these 4 new duos, he actually made each of the shades that really sparkly, slightly more gritty, but super ethereal formula. So every single shade in all 4 of these duos is special. There's not even one that I think is just average or below average. And some of his original duos did have some kind of average shades in them, to be honest. So as far as the 4 new duos we've got In Your Dreams, When the Sun Sets, Slow Burn, and Always on Your Mind. And as you guys can see, they are all amazing. They're gorgeous. I knew I was going to purchase them when the sale came around. I was very excited to get a little bit of a discount on these. We still have some fun eye products, but we are just going to jump around just to mix up this haul a little bit. So I did pick up the YSL Couture Face Palette. This is in the shade or version Golden Oasis. I don't know if YSL has ever done a face palette before. This is the first one that I've seen, at least, and it is so pretty. It's that classic like YSL, the packaging that's on their Make Me Blush formula. You know, it's almost like this faux leather kind of puffy top. It looks like their classic Cassandra bags, you know, like it's so pretty. And then inside you are getting 6 different powders. All 6 of these are in their Make Me Blush formula, which is a newer blush range to YSL in general. So I was excited to be able to try this formula for myself. I don't have any of the individual powders, so I don't know how they necessarily compare to the ones in the palette. However, I did use this palette on my face today. I have these 2 blushes on my cheeks, and then I have this highlighter here on, you know, the tops of my cheeks. You know where to put a highlighter. But I will say the formula is a little interesting on these. They're definitely like a denser formula. I feel like even when they go on the skin, they are like fairly pigmented. And I personally did have an interesting experience blending them. I feel like the colored blushes were a little tricky to blend. When I put them on the skin, it was almost like they just stuck there, and then to try to blend them out and get like a seamless blend was a little more challenging than I expected. I mean, it's a YSL formula, so I just expected this to be super premium and super just like luxe. I also feel like luxury formulas in general do tend to lean more like buildable. This is something I've noticed with a lot of luxury brand eyeshadows and face products in general, is they tend to be lighter. They tend to go on sheerer, and typically you can build them up, but they're not usually like one swipe pigmentation. Just based on their clientele, to me that kind of makes sense. Like you're kind of going for a little bit more of that no makeup look when you're purchasing luxury makeup, and this formula in my opinion is way more pigmented than what I expected it would be. And like I said, it was a little bit of a challenge blending. So I'm still going to play with this, obviously, and continue to test it out. We'll see. You know, we'll see. I'm always open to having my mind changed. You know, I hope my mind changes on this because this was a pretty penny, obviously. But regardless, excited to try it and excited to be able to test 6 different colors all in one go. Okay, let's chat about the 2 new lip formulas that I purchased during the sale. I remember when there was a time that lipsticks, lip balms, lip liners, like lip products was the bulk of my haul. But funny enough, the bulk of this haul was definitely eyes and complexion. But I still did pick up these 2 formulas because I said I was interested in my wish list, and I have some more refined thoughts after that wish list video, because in the wish list video, full disclosure, I was being a little bit harsh on this line. If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, these are the 2 Violette FR lip formulas that I was interested in trying, but I was going in on their color range. Both of these products only come in 4 different shades, and I do feel like the color range overall is a little funky. And what I mean by that is I could tell that the 4 shades in both of these different formulas were not particularly made or potentially even like properly tested on a tan to deeper complexion. Some of them are too bright, some of them are too saturated. Like there's just something about it that I think looks stunning on a lighter or medium complexion. But as someone with tan skin, like I don't want a neon red on my face. But with all of that being said, the first formula I knew I wanted to swatch out were the Violette FR Lip Nectar Hydrating Lip Stain. The shade I ended up with in this product is called Dahlia Noir. It is the darkest one in the range, and this is what I'm wearing on my lips right now. So I will say this is actually a really pretty tone on me. I was iffy based on the swatches online, but once I swatched it in store, I could tell that this was probably going to be a really pretty, it looks like a blackberry color in the tube. It definitely goes on sheerer than it looks in the tube, but it still has a good amount of pigmentation to it. I would say it's like a true medium opacity, and it almost feels like a glossy lip stain. Like it does claim to be a hydrating lip stain, and I do agree with that. This definitely stains the lips, and it also leaves your lips with a little bit of a glossy, nourishing feel. This formula kind of reminds me of some of the K-beauty formulas I've used before, but I do feel like this one is very lightweight, yet still somehow decently hydrating. It feels like a lightweight lip gloss on the lips, but it does stain. And I actually do really enjoy this color. Again, the other 3 colors were a little funky on me, but this one is really pretty. And then the other formula that I was really excited to try, this is the Plume Lip Feather Matte Lip Whip. I don't know much about this formula, but again, I swatched out all of the shades in store, and the shade Mon Cherie looked like it could work for me. It's more of a muted mauvey red tone, but I feel like it has enough brown in it that it's not gonna look too red. But I thought this would be a really pretty fall shade. So I haven't tried this formula yet, but I am very excited. Based on just me swatching it out, it feels kind of like a moussey liquid lipstick, similar to something like the Dose of Colors. It definitely has that kind of aerated, whipped texture. Like it's not a true liquid lipstick, if that makes sense. But still full opacity on this one. You can tell that even in the swatch. So very excited to try this. I will definitely keep you guys updated. Okay, jumping back to eye products. The Danessa Myricks display saw me coming, you guys. They got me good over at Danessa Myricks. I think that might be the brand that I purchased the most like different formulas from. I went ahead and picked up another one of her Color Fix multi-use pigment sticks. I told you guys that I was going to get at least one of these during the sale, and here we are. The one that I purchased after swatching all of them out yet again was the Duo number 1. So if you guys don't know about these Color Fix sticks, it is essentially 2 eyeshadow sticks that are put together via this little like magnetic center here. You can pull apart each individual eyeshadow stick, and then you can also just put them together. If you have multiple, obviously you can mix and match. And with these sticks, one side is typically a metallic shade, and then one side is what she calls her foil shade. This formula is one of those that goes on almost cooling, and then when you blend it out and let it set, it locks down. If you guys have problems with eyeshadow creasing throughout the day and you just want something that's actually going to last, this is the formula you need. I do love the fact that you're getting 2 different shades in 2 different finishes in these duos. However, I will say that when you're purchasing anything in a duo, it is always beneficial for you to actually love both colors in the duo. That way you can get the most out of your money. Sometimes I feel like I will fall in love with one shade, but the other shade is just to me. And in that case, I don't really want to purchase the whole duo. I would love for Danessa Myricks to come out with these as singles at some point. That way, if you already have this little like magnetic mechanism, you know, if you purchase one duo, you can just interchange them, and then you can also pick and choose exactly which shades you want without having to commit to a duo. That would be nice if she ever did that. But if not, honestly, so many of the duos are stunning. Like, so many of the pairs are equally gorgeous, to where, you know, having to purchase both is not exactly a chore. Like, I'm happy to have them both in my life. I just love this formula. You guys, do not be surprised if I pick up even more of these sometime very, very soon. I'm gonna keep an eye out for that Danessa Myricks Black Friday sale, because I'm hoping she does some sort of decent sale on these so I can purchase like 2 or 3 more. I told you that the Danessa Myricks display saw me coming, and this was literally the first thing I grabbed the second I walked into store. This is the Danessa Myricks Lightwork Volume 7 palette. I was so excited to get my hands on this one. I haven't purchased a Lightwork palette in a while. I think it's been at least 2 or 3 years. This palette has 18 different shades in it, and it's broken up into 3 separate palettes of 6 shadows each. This palette actually has some mattes in it. There are some Lightwork palettes in the past that had no mattes. All of the shades were shimmery, but I do actually quite like that these palettes, like each palette here, has at least one matte. If you guys aren't familiar with this new layout of her Lightwork palette, you can essentially pop out each of these little 6 pans individually. Everything is magnetized into the palette, and if you take this little piece that's on the top, it actually works as the lid to the little 6 pans. I absolutely love that she did that. I think it makes these palettes super versatile because you can pull out each 6 pan individually. And if I'm not wrong, I want to say that each of these pans also comes out. I'm over here trying to do it without, oh yeah, each of these pans also is magnetic. Oh my gosh, and it has the names on the back. Danessa, she is the makeup artist of our lifetime. I am sorry, but Danessa knows what she's doing. Each of these individual pans is actually removable. It has this shadow name on the back. What an icon Danessa is. She knows what she's doing with these. I totally understand why this Lightwork palette is called the Freedom palette, because you can literally customize these as much as you want. You can move around each of these pans as much as you want, completely rearrange this palette. You can pop out each of these 6 and then use this little topper to take it traveling. Literally incredible, and actually so fun that that is an option. I didn't even realize how customizable this palette was when I purchased it. Oh, and if you guys don't know the lore on these Lightwork palettes, so many of these shades are super, super special. I mean, the shimmers in this palette, some of them are duochromes, some of them are multi-chromes, some of them are more of that like pressed, flaky multi-chrome shadow, some of them are more true metallics, but every single shade in here is special in its own way. The mattes are going to be your more basic shades, obviously, but the shimmers are just insane. They rival a lot of the indie makeup duochromes and multi-chromes that come out. So while this isn't a cheap palette, like it's definitely got a price tag to it, I do think that if you're looking for a special formula for full customizability and just for like the convenience of the travel aspect of this whole thing, this thing is amazing, incredible. I freaking love it. So thrilled that I got my hands on that. And the final thing I purchased from Danessa Myricks, because that display got me, I believe this is her new setting spray. This is the Yummy Skin Liquid Blurring Balm, and I purchased it in like the travel size. This product also came in the full size, which is double the amount of product, but honestly, I just wanted to test it, so I was happy that she had a product that was half the size of the full size, just so I could give it a little test run. This is supposed to be a very, very mattifying setting spray. It's one of those that you kind of have to shake up like an aerosol can. It's not aerosol though, just FYI. It's a normal spray top, but because it has that little ball in it, you know that it probably has a biphase formula going on in here. There's probably some like actual powder in here where the ball needed to be in there to really shake it up good. I have not used this yet because I used a new foundation. I didn't want to overdo it with all of the new complexion. Just in case something wears a little funky, I want to know what product that is. So I went ahead and just used a setting spray that I already know and love, but I am excited to try this, especially since my skin can definitely get pretty oily. And I know Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin has been so good, especially her mattifying, pore perfecting, oil controlling products. Those are some of the best. Like, they are some of the most holy grail staple products, even in my own complexion routine. So obviously I'm excited to give this a good shot. Okay, so I've been looking to test out some new foundation formulas because I feel like the foundations I've been using in my collection are just old. They're old, or they're not exciting formulas, and I just want to see what's new and out there on the market and what people are talking about. So I went ahead and picked up the Dior Forever Skin Perfect multi-use foundation stick. This is a foundation stick that I actually really wanted to purchase. I think it was about a year ago when this formula came out. However, Dior released it in the most abysmal color range. Like, the original color range on the stick foundation reminded me of 2014. Like, it felt like I was back in the year of 2014 and I could not find a foundation shade that matched me. And I just feel like ever since Fenty really did like the full range in Sephora, I haven't particularly had an issue like that. So again, swatching out that original Dior stick foundation range was it was honestly just really sad. But they did expand the range semi-recently. They threw in some more colors, and they did actually make a shade that I thought would match me pretty well. The shade that I picked up is 4.5N, and this is a pretty decent match for my skin, I will admit. I think the packaging is gorgeous. It's Dior. It should be gorgeous. I actually have this on my skin right now. This is the first time that I've worn it, and I really wanted a stick foundation to replace my Huda Beauty stick foundation. That is a stick foundation I've had in my collection for a long time, but I recently went back to it to kind of use it up, and I realized how much I love that stick. Like, that is such a good formula. It is so nice. It is more matte, which is what I personally prefer. It has really good pigmentation, but because it's a stick foundation, it's really thin on the skin. I really do love that Huda Beauty stick foundation, and I absolutely would repurchase it, but I can't. It's gone. It's not on Sephora. It's not on Huda Beauty. Like, you cannot find that formula anymore, and so I am looking for something to kind of replace it, which is why I figured, let me try this stick. Upon first use, I think this is pretty good. It definitely has more of a medium coverage. It's potentially a little bit more glowy than the Huda Beauty one. Not quite as matte as something I would typically prefer, but I do like that it has really good pigmentation. A little bit of this goes a long way. I am going to continue to test this because I do think that, especially going into the fall and winter, I wouldn't mind just a little bit more moisture in my face products. And I do think there's something just so easy peasy about a stick foundation. I wish more brands had a really good stick foundation. I'm trying to even think what other brands offer a good stick foundation. I know Hourglass has one that maybe I should go back and test again. But other than that, I feel like I'm at a loss. Other than that, I feel like skin tints have been so popular. Liquid foundation is always a popular one, but a good stick foundation, those are kind of hard to find. The other foundation that I picked up is, I think, a new one by Makeup by Mario. This is his Surreal Skin Natural Finish Foundation. I picked this one up in the shade number 17.5. This is my first Makeup by Mario foundation purchase, and I'm excited to try it, you guys. I have not tested it yet, so I cannot tell you anything about this formula. I color matched myself in store, so I'm hoping that the color is decent. It is a neutral color, which again, I always prefer for me. He has an amazing range of colors in his lineup, as he should, because Mario is a makeup artist, so I'm happy to see the color range. When I pumped it out on the back of my hand to try to color match myself, the texture of it felt like a pretty classic liquid foundation. It wasn't too runny, it wasn't too thick, it looked like it would have more of a medium coverage, but again, I have not used this, so please stay tuned pending for an actual review. Do you guys want to see a proper review on this? If you guys are actually interested, I would be more than happy to do that. Again, I'm not quite sure how new this formula is, but I think it's definitely on the newer side. So if you guys want like a full first impressions or a proper review once I actually test it, let me know because I can definitely do that for you. And yeah, either way, I'm excited about it. Okay, and then the final couple of things that I actually have to show you guys is a few of these Drunk Elephant skincare sets. I told you guys that I was gonna purchase these in my wish list video. So we've got the Revisiting the Classics. This is the Pro-Teeny set. I know this set actually has a real name, so let me look it up here. Okay, it's just called the Revisiting the Classics Pro-Teeny Refill Kit. I guess that was the name. Revisiting the Classics was the name. In this set, you get 2 full-size Pro-Teeny polypeptide creams. You get one that's like in the plastic container, and then you get 1 refill tub. So essentially, you're getting 2 full size for just a little bit more than the price of the one individually. Just for reference, the full size Pro-Teeny polypeptide cream retails for $72 and this kit retails for $89. So again, you're getting double the amount of product, which is a good deal in the grand scheme of things, but you obviously have to know that you like this cream. This isn't something I would tell you to purchase if you've never used this cream before, because there's nothing worse than having the Costco value size of something that you don't even know if you're gonna like. But I do have to point out how freaking adorable is this little Pro-Teeny packaging. It's very different for the brand. It's very cute. It's like a little color blocking chartreuse, purple. You've got the green top. Like, it's so cute. And then if you guys don't know, this is what the little refills look like. So you just peel off the little top and then you just pop it into your little plastic packaging here, screw back on the little pump top, and you're good to go. It works amazingly. I've already refilled my old Pro-Teeny and my old Lala Retro, and it works flawlessly. And of course, I went ahead and purchased the refill set of my Lala Retro as well. This kit is called A Landscape of Lala. So it's the exact same thing. You get the full size Lala Retro whipped cream moisturizer and a full size refill. And for reference for you guys, if you were to just pick up the full size Lala Retro, it retails for $66 and this whole kit retails for $83. Again, not cheap, but I do go through this moisturizer. Unfortunately, this is my nightly moisturizer. And again, look at the cute packaging. Oh my gosh, this is the Pro-Teeny. This is the Lala Retro. I love the way they designed these. It makes it feel more special. It makes it feel more exclusive. And yeah, it's adorable. I freaking love it. Okay, and then finally, I'm just gonna run through what I ended up having to order online, mostly because these things were not available in my store. So I did go ahead and pick up the Soft Services and Dead Cool collab. This is the TheraPlush Extra Milk Retinol Hand Repair Cream and a travel size spray of the Dead Cool Extra Milk. I love when 2 brands that I love collaborate and create a product in a formula from one brand but a scent from the other brand. So it just makes it feel like that perfect little collab where you're not getting something too weird or funky, but it's just like, it's so special. Especially if you love both of the brands. It's fun to see people just kind of like collaborating like that. So this was exciting because I love Dead Cool and I love Soft Services. I did also pick up the refill version of the Extra Milk TheraPlush hand cream because again, I knew these were gonna sell out and currently they are sold out on the Sephora website. I also went ahead and picked up the Soft Services Buffing Bar Mini Body Gift Set. This has 4 different mini buffing bars from Soft Services. This was one of those products that I always wanted to try from the brand, but I didn't particularly want to commit to purchasing the full size because if you guys don't know, these buffing bars come in full size versions with 2 in a pack. So you have to really, again, commit to this formula because you're getting 2 whole bars. But in this little set, you're getting 4 mini bars and you're getting 4 different scents, and each scent has a slightly different grit level as well, which I think is really cool. I also went ahead and picked up the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. I purchased 2 of those online. I also purchased 2 of my Drunk Elephant Virgin Marula oils online. I just picked those up online because when I went in store, store, I was carrying my bag around the whole mall and I just wanted to reduce as much weight as I could. So I figured, let me just get those basics online. You guys know what they look like. You've seen me talk about it. You've seen everybody talk about it. And then the final thing I purchased online is the Natasha Denona High Glam Foundation. I picked it up in the shade NY11. I actually matched myself in store, so I'm hoping this is the right shade. Sometimes the Sephora store lights are just a little wild. Sometimes you can't quite tell what it's gonna be out in like the free world. But I had to pick this up online because no store has it. Like no store has this formula in stock, at least not in the shade I need. So this was really hard to track down. I figured let me just make that online order. And that is everything. That is everything that I picked up from this year's Sephora holiday savings event. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you for hanging in there with me. I told you it was a lot of different products, a lot of different formulas, but I'm so excited to test out so much of this makeup because I feel like I haven't personally been super inspired by new makeup formulas recently, but clearly things have changed. Clearly she's back on her makeup grind and I cannot wait to put all of this stuff to the test. Like I said, links to everything I mentioned in today's video will be in the description box down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and I will talk to you in my next video very soon. I'll see you then. Bye.